Today we have a problem dealing with the least common multiple, abbreviated LCM, and the greatest common factor, abbreviated GCF. This sometimes is called GCD in the US, the greatest common divisor. Okay. Now the two inputs, one is known to be 60, the other is a variable n, and n is understood to be a natural number. Now let's talk about this fundamental relationship that exists between the LCM and the GCF in product form here. And let's just pick a couple of numbers. We won't attempt to prove it. The proof is fairly straightforward. But let's say that we have A is equal to 12 and B is equal to 18. Just arbitrarily picking those numbers, they're easy to compute. Now the least common multiple of these two numbers is clearly 36. 3 times 12 is 36, 2 times 18 is 36. So the LCM would be 36. Okay. Now the greatest factor or divisor that's common to both of these numbers is 6. Okay. So you have 36, and I'll put, that's supposed to be dot 6. Okay. Okay, is equal to 12 times 18. And y'all notice both of these, the product 6 times 36 is certainly 216, but that's also 12 times 18. And if you're familiar with the prime factorization, this is not very hard to believe because all the prime factors have to go either to this one or this one, which is going to be all the prime factors in the product AB. So the proof's pretty easy to just say. It's a little messy to write it down formally, okay? But anyway, this is kind of a basic result that's going to help us solve this problem, number theoretic result, okay? Now this statement right here is nothing more than a statement of what the problem says. The difference between the LCM and GCF is 2445. Okay, and remember we're trying to find n here. Now it's useful to re-express this. It's useful to divide this by the 60 that you see. So we divide 2445 by 60 and we get this 45 as a remainder. Okay, now do note that this left-hand side, in fact this entire expression, has to be a multiple abbreviated multiple of 60. Or that's just the definition. It needs to be the smallest one, but it does have to be a multiple of 60, this object right here, okay? But this object is equal to all of this, and at this point, this is not a multiple of 60. It's a multiple of 60 plus 45. So notice that that forces the GCF to be 15. And it's just to amplify that, the GCF would have to be a number from the set 1, 2, 3, all of them. Let's see, 4, 5. These are all divisors of 60. Wow, okay, so 6, 10, and we see 15 is also in the list, right? It better be, right? So in other words, the greatest common factor not only has to be a divisor of n, but it has to be a divisor of 60, and it would have to be in this list, including 30 and 60 would be in the list, but that wouldn't make this be a multiple of 60, right? We need to add something that will make this a multiple of 16. The only number in the list would be 15, right? Okay, so we know just like that the GCF is equal to 15, okay? So let's keep going. And I've already rambled about that, right? This forces the GCF to be 15. And so what we can do is we just add this 15 right here, which is just a continuation of this statement right here, right? Okay, but it was 40 times 60, but if you add another 15, that makes it 41 times 60, right? Okay, so moving along, we are trying to solve for n. Remember, we're trying to solve for n. So this would tell us that n is equal to, you can divide 60 on this side, 15 over 60 is 4, so you'd have 2460. You had to have 2460 right here divided by 4, right, folks? Again, folks, what I do right here, that's a 4. Okay. We had the 60 right here. I divided the right-hand side by 60. 50 over 60 reduces to 4. And this is equal to what? 615? Okay, y'all, that's the answer to the problem. I liked it quite a bit. It's a nice, it's kind of a direct translation, and we're using this result. We use this result that we sort of proved right here. See, we reuse this result, this fundamental result that relates to least common multiple and the greatest common divisor. We used it again right here for the special cases, and we got that n is equal to 615. So I'll just rewrite right here, 615. N is equal to 615. All right. See you next time.